All right. I'm glad you chose a soft food to eat, Rich. String cheese as opposed to chips or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple of our older shows where I actually see myself doing that, and it disgusts me now.
It should. You should be disgusted. Now, if we can get you to be disgusted with your hawking lugs halfway through episodes.
Luckily, I mute it every time.
No, you don't.
You don't hear it, but the recording is muted.
Okay. Well, I edit the audio on the podcast, so I know. Welcome to Drunk Tech Support Games.
I'm Rich.
I'm Jason. And boy, oh boy, do we have some fun stuff to talk about. And
tell them, Jay, are we going to bitch about Battlefield 2042 all this
well,
episode?
for a little bit. I wanted to show up the beer I got.
What is it? Not safe for work. Love it.
It's a triple IPA, and you know we're becoming those douchebags.
So it's triple disgusting because IPAs are gross.
Yeah, IPAs are disgusting. And anyone that says they like IPA is lying.
So up in the Pacific Northwest where I now live, apparently IPAs are like super popular. Like
that's all anyone drinks. This is $20.
You cannot find like
a Bud
ales
Bud Light
or stouts or porters or anything like that. There's like literally one of each, and everything else is IPAs. All
the stores here have so many different types of beer. There's even stores that are dedicated to like beers.
Yeah.
And all the local brew stuff, it's so expensive.
Mm-hmm.
This was $20 for 4 beers, and they're not even like tall boys.
Yeah.
They're not tall boys.
Yeah.
They're like, what, 24 ounces, 12 ounces?
Craft beers have definitely
10% alcohol.
Craft beers have definitely like gone like woo over the last 10 years or so.
This isn't too bad. I kind of like the cat's meow that I had last week.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I got my Battlefield stats.
What are they at today?
You see, they're just under 3,000.
Oh yeah.
Earlier today they were under 2,000.
Oh wow.
So we can see the steady decline of players. And actually, just in the news was I gotta look at my notes. So EA actually. I guess they had like an internal meeting and somebody leaked it, and they've said they're very disappointed in how the game, turned out and stuff, and they actually blamed it on Halo because Halo Infinite came out just before they released Battlefield, and Halo Infinite was like polished. It was like a full game. It didn't have any real bugs or anything.
The argument here isn't they didn't sell enough. The argument here is that everybody who bought it fucking hated it.
That's what I'm saying. So they blamed it on Halo. This shows how out of touch like the CEOs and stuff are, like the higher ups. They're like, well, Halo came out and it was a polished game, and that made us look bad because we released a piece of shit that was so full of bugs it was like literally unplayable. That's what they said.
That's ridiculous.
I'm like, are you so out of touch?
Apparently they are.
Halo was such a good product that didn't need day one patches. That's what made us look bad. No shit.
Yeah, but really you should be
ashamed of yourself.
It's the gameplay that everybody hated. It had nothing to do with... in fact, all the reviews I looked through, not just last week when we did our show, but on my own, they're all funny or
there's so many funny ones.
Like ragging on the game itself. Nobody ever mentions that Halo's way better and it just came out.
No.
There's never any discussion about that.
There's no reason. They're saying that's why our sales report.
Sounds like
everyone bought the game. Everyone bought the game. It went from 100,000 players down to 3,000.
So it wasn't a sales issue. The issue was the reviews. So which I mean, they're literally like tapping somebody on the shoulder and be like, "He did it."
Yeah. Well, this is their mentality. And this is not just them. Other manufacturers, I think like Cyberpunk came out, No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
They release these games. They make them look all nice in advertising.
Yeah.
They shoot like the best angles, the best videos. They show all these features that aren't in the game, and then they release a piece of shit, and then they expect you to just deal with it until they patch it.
Yeah.
and everyone's trying to get their game out by Christmas to get those Christmas sales.
Which is fine if you're on Steam buying a pre-alpha or a beta. Like, you know what you're getting into at that point. But instead of calling it a beta, they just release it.
Oh, dude, people are saying this isn't even a beta, it's an alpha.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many problems and changes that they made for no reason. Like, they called voice over IP a legacy feature, and that's why they removed it. Yeah, dude, are you serious? Legacy and scoreboard. I mean, voice over IP and scoreboard and in-game chat with the other teams are legacy features.
Interesting.
That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. That's like, you know, a lot of like people that are hardcore Battlefield players or any game, they'll use like a Discord or like we used back in the day, TeamSpeak.
TeamSpeak back in the day, but now everybody's on Discord. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was still available in the game if people used it. Oh, they don't want you talking smack to the other team.
You mentioned that in our last episode.
You can chat with your team and your squad, but you can no longer chat to the other team.
That's the whole thing about playing with other players online is yelling and screaming at them.
It's talking crap, and if you don't like what they're saying, you can mute them.
Yeah,
I mean that's always been a feature. They're trying to appeal to like, you know what they're trying to do? Is they're trying to like kiddify the game, so like 13-year-olds that like Apex Legends and Fortnite and crap will play it. I found out that apparently early in development of Battlefield, they were gonna make it a strictly battle royale.
Oh my god!
It was going to be battle royale only, which they've tried before in Firestorm and Battlefield 5. Nobody plays it. You try to go into Battlestorm. Firestorm. I don't even play it, so I don't remember what it's called. You try to go in, you'll be waiting up to like a half an hour for it to get enough players to actually play.
God.
And it's the same thing here. So they wanted to make a battle royale, which was not working for the Battlefield. So instead of getting rid of it, they doubled down on it. We're going to make the whole game a battle royale. And then at some point during marketing, I think what they keep doing is they look at everyone else is doing and what's making money, and they change the game to do it instead of sticking to the tried and true Battlefield formula that has tons of dedicated fans. It's like what they did with Star Trek.
Yeah.
They're playing to the...
And like we said in the last episode, it's like Radio Shack. They forgot about their base fans. Like
they don't care, man. Everyone, money. Corporations, money, greed, blah, blah, blah. Screw if...
See, but... Back in the day, this is the same company that back in the day we talked about on the last episode, the Yellow Tab Sega games. They were fighting for affordable cartridges for the consumer. Yes, they were going to make money on it too, but they were at least doing it because there was a demand for it.
Right.
Like, here, there's no demand. They think there's a demand because they just want to pick up players from other games. They're creating a demand that isn't actually there.
That market has been saturated for years. I mean, how long have Battle Royale's been out? For 10 years?
Yeah.
At least. Then for a game that's format does not fit that at all. There's people that play Battlefield because of its realism. It has like realistic bullet drops. So you have to actually aim your gun above your target the further away you are to account for bullet arching. Physics, built-in physics. It's not like Call of Duty where everything's a straight line. You just point it at the person, someone's head. Call of Duty's now like getting better reviews than Battlefield. I play Call of Duty. I don't mind Call of Duty. I'm not ragging on it, but they say the hit counts all screwed up in the new Battlefield. Like I've watched clips where people unload like 2 clips on somebody, and then the person just turns around and shoots them like twice, and they're dead. So it's just so full of bugs. It sucks. I just can't wait to watch it die. They still haven't. Did I tell you they're not going to be releasing any major patches till this summer? Yeah, they put that out, and everyone's just like, you know what? F you, man. They're like, let's wait till this summer to get a scorecard on our damn game. Nobody ever learns. These companies keep doing it. Everyone thinks they can release a piece of crap on day one and we'll just patch it. Yeah. I see a lot of people saying they're never going to pre-order a game or even buy a game from EA ever again. Oh, and so I was looking into it more, and just like with Star Trek, DICE, the company that makes all the Battlefields, 90% of them have moved on. They've yeah, and these new developers only have like a couple years experience, whereas the DICE developers had like 15, 8, 20, a ton of experience. So they've all jump ship, and now it's just yeah, that's true also. Yeah, well, a lot of developers left because their voices weren't being heard. They said they would say this isn't Battlefield. People aren't going to like this, and they're like, we don't care. That's what the charts are showing, that people are playing battle royales. They want quirky. They want super dystopian future game. But then at the end of the war, people go, there's like emotes. Your characters will like do like some dumb thing. Yeah, and one of the characters has like been like a mascot for how Battlefield is. And his quote at the end of the game is, "Sorry, that's just how it turns out sometime." So you might see people posting that everywhere because that's basically what EA says to their fans. Hey, that's just what happens. Deal with it. But it's been a disaster. I haven't played it since November. I won't play it until I see something change. Dude, Battlefield is my shit. That's what I play. That's like majority of what I play. It, yeah, it's realistic, gritty military tactical shooter with emphasis on teamwork. You're not just trying to get the highest kills on your team. Like, you can play as a medic and keep your team revived. That's what I like to play as, like running through the battlefield, like reviving people. Because I suck. I always get low kill death. I get shitty kill death ratios. I'm always like, I got killed 50 times, but I got 10 kills. I'm always getting killed. So I just try to keep my teammates alive. And they're trying this gritty, dark, realistic shooter. They're trying to turn into a bright, colorful, kitty, quirky, quote spitting bull crap game, dude. God, I can't take it. I can't take it. More to come on that, I'm sure. There is a game called World War III that everyone keeps saying if you want to play a gritty war game like Battlefield was, check out World War III, which I have not played it yet. I might do a review on it. Yeah, we should definitely do some game playthroughs. We both have decent computers now. I can't share my audio. Spider-Bot, we didn't play that yet, did we? Did we actually record that? That we only recorded half of the game. We stopped. We're like, we'll be back, and we never came back because we're awesome like that. Did you end up playing Police Force or Cop Force or what? Police Quest. That's the one I'm familiar with. Like, I'd like to see a playthrough of that. No, yeah, I don't know why. Probably because they sucked or the audio was bad. Because I remember one of us played Pac-Man and the audio on the Atari was so high, it was like making your ears bleed trying to listen to it. So that's not going up. Once I get this sound thing figured out, through OBS or XSplit, I'm gonna I can see if I'm recording on my own, I can record game sound. But when I'm streaming to you, I can only stream my mic. That doesn't make sense. Don't worry, that's just how it goes sometimes. Oh, it's don't be sad. That's what it is. Just don't be sad. That's how it goes sometimes. I think I've heard of that. Is it like a dungeon crawler? You don't believe in ghosts, Rich? How dare you? We can never go on a ghost hunt now. Weird. Okay. What kind is it? Is it 3D, 2D? Why don't you post some pictures or something so we can see? I see a child, a zombie with a hook. This reminds me of Dementium on the DS. Or like Silent Hill. Mhm. Yes, I remember because
Oh,
we had a PlayStation.
crap.
That was actually one of the first PlayStation games I ever played.
It
It was so scary.
I muted like a while back because I was coughing and I forgot to unmute, so my recording has none of me.
Just now?
Yeah.
So can you just get your asthma fixed?
So I don't know how much I just lost, but it was at least everything I said about Phasmophobia.
Rich, tell us about this game Phasmophobia I've never heard of.
I'll just go back and
put
fix
some
it in
pictures
post.
of it up. No,
I'll fix it in post. I'll fix it in post.
You'll fix both of us having a conversation in post.
Yes.
You're like, boy, Rich, that's very interesting. Tell me about it. Well, you see.
No, your audio's there. Everything's fine except me.
Oh, okay. Can you make it sound like ridiculous? Like you just talk like monotone.
Yeah, I can if you want.
I'm gonna tell you about a game now, Jason. Really, a game? And then they'll hear this and they'll know it's a joke.
Yeah.
So, Phasmophobia, you still have to put a picture up for people to see.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I got distracted because I realized my.
So they heard me say that looked kind of a little like Silent Hill, a little like.
Yeah, so Silent Hill was one of my favorite games on the PS1. So now that I have
really,
the
you
PS1,
don't say.
I wanted to get it, but of course.
Oh right, Rich, you got to show off your game setup.
I will. I got to wait till I move next month, so it'll be a little bit, but I'll do it because I definitely want to do it.
Oh, good. PewDiePie plays through Phasmophobia. Yay.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, there you go. So there's some pictures from the gameplay, like that or that. It's kind of got like a.
Is that like a
Five Nights at Freddy's type of vibe? Like,
oh god, like jump scare game. I hate jump scares.
But it's like supposedly it's way better done. It's more professional. Is
it a shooter? Is it a point and click?
I don't know.
Oh, because you haven't played it.
I haven't played it yet.
All right.
I just know you're supposed to hunt for ghosts. That's it. And
okay.
Find
those look like zombies.
Yes, they do. That one definitely.
It looks like a cross is involved in the game. You get to walk around with the cross.
Oh yeah.
The power of Christ compels you.
Good stuff. Oh man.
Your mother sucks cocks in hell.
Oh man. So I
like
want to do a playthrough on that, whether or not you buy it and we do it. Or
yeah, I'll buy it. I'm assuming it's not that expensive.
It's a Steam
on
game.
Steam.
It wasn't. No, I want to say we got it for like $20, $15, something like that.
Yeah, I'll get it.
And then maybe the three of us, my son and us, can play because it's up to 4. So
if we can get audio working,
yeah, and not mute ourselves.
You can do it no problem, right?
Yeah.
You could put a game up on the screen and we could hear it.
Yeah.
So annoying. I like our background.
Yeah. I found a little 3D Atari.
It's an Atari.
An Atari there. Yeah. I don't want to get sued. But
it's obviously drug tech support games endorsed.
Professional, yeah. Actually, they probably don't care because they were licensing it to everybody back in the 80s. Remember, they had like the Sears gaming console.
You just segued for me.
What, really?
Into this Nintendo bullshit.
Oh.
Speaking of licensing and suing people and screwing over your fans and just sticking the middle finger up.
Yeah.
Nintendo, Nintendo, they're ending the eShop of Nintendo 3DS and Wii U, which, guess who bought all their games digitally?
Oh.
Guess who has about $500 in games?
I remember you fighting to get it switched over to a different device.
Oh yeah, I still can't do that right now. So before the game ends, I have to get a 3DS, download every game I had paid for, and hope that the DS I have doesn't break.
Wow.
It's within a year. They gave the 1-year warning. So after a year, they're ending it.
Wow.
So all those games you paid money for, you can't get again if your game breaks. You know how I feel about digital content, Rich?
Oh, I know, because I feel the same way.
It's great until it's no longer there. And then yep. F you is what they say.
And this is the benefit of local copies. See, the argument has always been keep a local copy because you never know if these .coms are going to be around because, you know, when we were growing up, they were all going out of business left and right.
Yeah.
The Googles and the Apples came around and they're too big to fail. So people are like, oh, they'll never go under.
Yeah, but even like Apple, one of our very early episodes, I was complaining about this way back then, about how I bought a game on the App Store, and then Apple decides, oh, it's not, you can't use it on this device. You can't buy it again.
Yeah,
the only way you can get it is if you have a backup of your iPod somewhere that has the game.
The first time that's ever impacted me was last week. So I've used a app that does remote desktop, remote SSH, remote like VNC, like it's all in one package. Mm-hmm. So I have one app that I can remote into all of my devices with. And I paid like $25 for it back in 2012, 2013-ish. The app is no longer developed. The developer took it off of iTunes. I have it, and it's in my iTunes backup, so every time I get a new phone, it goes onto the new phone.
Right.
But there's no updates for it, and when I tried to install it on my Mac, which is an M1 and can play iOS stuff native, I couldn't find it to download it. And I was like, what the hell? Where is it? And then I realized the guy had taken it down.
Yeah.
So it's gone. The only copy I have is the one locally. Luckily, I have the IPA for it, but it's not being patched. It's 10 years old. I mean,
yeah. I just heard a story about somebody doing that. He had an old copy of something that was removed. Oh, what was it? Oh, okay. It allowed you to run. It's basically DOS. It's not DOSBox. It's DOS for like straight DOS for iPhone. And people could actually install Windows 95 on their iPhone.
I remember that way back. Somebody had done that.
And Apple cracked down on it, so they took it out of the store. And the only way you can get it is if you still have a copy of it. And it sucks.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
digital.
That's
and that's why I still have a copy, because I downloaded the IPA and kept it. So I have almost all of my apps archived somewhere. But
See,
now
you're good at that. I'm not.
Well, Apple has since blocked the ability to download the IPAs legally. So now it's getting harder and harder to get these games and archive them in case they go under.
Mm-hmm.
And let's not forget, Apple did almost go out of business. They got bailed out by Microsoft.
Yeah, back in the day.
Big companies can go out of business. It can happen.
Yeah, and even if they're in business, they'll like flip you off and be like sorry.
Like Google, where they're like, oh yeah, we're sunsetting this app forever.
Yeah,
you use it? Oh, sorry.
I haven't run across that in Google. Anything I've installed since I've ever used Android, I can still go back and reinstall.
I'm talking about the stuff that they've shut down.
Oh, services.
Google Plus and
Google Plus, dude, that was so fun.
Yeah.
It was so popular. I remember having so much fun on it.
Think of all the things that Google has shut down over the years.
Google Wave.
Yes. I mean, Google Fiber. They still operate it in the areas where they went, but they're not expanding.
They're not. They stopped.
Yeah.
Because that was a big, huge thing when I lived in Vermont, that they're finally getting a Google Fiber line move through there.
Yeah.
To provide everyone, because everyone's still on dial-up up in Vermont.
Yeah.
It's very sad.
So crazy.
So yeah, your digital. If you have something digital, I recommend buying hard copies because you're not going to get that back once they decide. This you should be able to sue. Nintendo actually wanted to cancel the eStore back in 2014, which was within 10 years of them coming out with the 3DS. Like the Switch hadn't even been announced, and they wanted to close the store, but due to fear of litigation, they kept it open. So they've been wanting to close it. I mean, how much could it possibly cost to just have a file server running that allows you to download games or move them?
It doesn't cost that much.
It can't possibly.
No.
They want you to buy the new games again. They want you to go over to the Switch. Well, they're like, you can re-download, you can re-buy your games on this current model Switch.
Re-buy. See, you should get credit to buy them again.
Or
look
even
at this.
that would be nice.
I found a website called killedbygoogle.com. It's all the stuff that they killed over the years. So this right here is the reason you
Google
always
Cardboard.
get
I had that
hard copies. Oh yeah, I still have my Google Cardboard.
Really?
Yeah, I was looking at it the other day.
Maybe that's the subject we talk about. VR's come such a long way since
like
2015. Remember when I was using my Google Cardboard to try to play Minecraft with my crappy phone jammed into it? And now we have what do the Oculus fall under? Drunk tech support news? Probably. All right, we're going to talk about that drunk tech support.
Yeah. There's actually some stuff about that I want to talk about.
I mean, unless there's a specific game, like, for instance, I got Half-Life Alyx.
Yeah,
you must know they've been complaining about there not being a Half-Life
3. Yeah.
Everyone's complaining. Make a Half-Life 3. Make a Half-Life 3. And Gabe's like,
yeah.
I guess the development team is gone too. Like nobody from the original game. So they released Half-Life Alyx, which is actually a really it honors the original trilogy, quadrilogy. There's one, then there's two, part one, part two, whatever. It does a really good job at capturing that feel. And I played it. It's like amazing.
Really?
Like, yeah, like you
see, I almost bought an Oculus for that game.
Oh, dude, you should. It's really fun.
But I just can't justify.
Well, I don't know with
your
your old man knees, you probably don't want to stand for that long.
Whatever.
Like you
honestly,
your gun.
I have an issue buying it because it's owned by Facebook.
Nope, it's Meta now. Remember?
Sorry, Meta. I can't
I really want to talk about that. Damn it, can we do drunk tech support after this? I really want to talk about Meta.
I have it on the list of things to talk about on the next episode because I actually have a big metaverse topic I want to bring up.
Oh, good. But Half-Life Alyx is it's really because Steam has always been good at developing like physics-based games.
Yeah,
they're always like doing something new, like playing with physics, like physics puzzles and stuff in the game.
Yeah, but
now being able to do it virtually. Like they've come up with all these additional cool physics related things. Like you cock your gun literally by going like this with the
Like
controllers.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's really cool. I don't know if I have the ability to record it. I could do like a playthrough and record some of it, but
Yeah.
you can also just look it up.
They need to. Back to where we started talking.
The digital
thing. You have to have physical copies, and I know it sounds so old school, like we're 40 years old and we're stuck in the past. But seriously, you have invested money in this, and these companies are just pooping on you.
Hundreds of dollars. Like, you should get some sort of guarantee for that.
Yes.
You should get like a hard backup copy or something.
I'm not saying they have to keep legacy servers up for 50, 60 years. I'm saying give them an opportunity to buy it on a different platform for free.
No, they don't. The majority of these aren't available. Oh, they will be. They'll create a virtual console that you could pay for the Switch that'll play all these old games.
You have to pay for.
And
that's the problem.
The 3DS, you can't rewrite those to work on a Switch because like a lot of them are 3D. A lot of them utilize two screens, which the Switch doesn't have. So you're not going to get any of those titles. Yeah. A lot of them are going to be gone. They re-released the Mario 3D games for the Switch. It was like an anniversary one-time thing. They were only doing it for a limited time. So if you didn't buy a cartridge, once they sold like a certain amount, they stopped. I got the digital version because I'm an idiot, and it's got Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and then I think Mario Galaxy is the other one. It's three really.
I love Mario Galaxy.
It's a fun game.
So, funny story though about digital copies is I feel like I've succeeded as a parent because I've always instilled that on my kids that you want a physical copy. You can have it digitally, fine, but you still should have a backup somewhere. And my son was wanting to buy a game with some money that he had earned, and he was like, I got to make sure I go to GameStop and buy it because I don't want to get a digital copy. And I was like, score!
That's awesome.
I feel like I succeeded at something.
Yeah, that's a good thing to teach your kids. I
definitely, mean, your money's worth.
Everything out in the internet can go away, and you have no control over it.
Exactly. Unless Web3 picks up and becomes a thing. But we can talk about that on another podcast.
Yeah. So what people end up turning to when companies do this to you, Rich? What do people turn to? Turn to?
Piracy.
There you go. Piracy.
I thought you were. I wasn't sure if you were going piracy or the fact that I keep everything and hoard data.
Oh yeah, they go to Trunk Store and they don't lose anything. They go to pirating. They go to modding.
And that's why, like we mentioned on one of our other shows recently, torrenting is back up. It's a thing again.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it's
because
only because there's 1,000 streaming services now.
The streaming bubble has burst.
It hasn't burst yet. It's about to, though.
Everyone's got their own streaming service now, and it would cost maybe 10 times more than cable.
I don't know how it is everywhere in the country, but even cable is streaming now.
Oh yeah, you told me about your cable setup. Yeah,
you told me about it. It's a streaming box. Yeah. So everything, they're pushing us to the internet, to these digital copies that are gone.
Something that's on Netflix one week suddenly will be gone.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you can use
the worst VPN. Is, you've got Amazon Prime. Not everything's free. You have to buy some of that stuff.
Oh yeah, they only give you access to a limited.
You buy it, and then Amazon goes under, or let's say they get hit with an antitrust and they have to break up. What's going to happen to our stuff?
F the cloud.
If they're broken up into 30 different companies and suddenly they can't afford to run as many servers.
Mm-hmm. How do you think this translates to like businesses that are pushing their companies into the cloud?
Well, if they're smart, like the places I've worked, you're not reliant on the cloud. You depend on the cloud, but you don't rely on it. There's a difference. The depending is, it's giving you convenience. The relying on them is your business fails if they go away. So the places I've worked where we did a move to the cloud, we still had local, like, hybrid infrastructure.
Right, hybrid,
so,
yeah. let's get back to games. Sorry.
So yeah, sorry.
So pirating.
It's on the rise.
So what do you do when you find out that the $600 in games that you've paid for over the years that you love are going to be no longer available? Like a big FU. You turn to pirating, modding your 3DS or Wii, so you can just download games off the web for free.
I wouldn't be surprised if emulators became like super popular in those categories. Like,
oh yeah. I mean,
they're already pretty popular, but the ROMs are going to be more valuable to people, and they're going to be demanding them.
Here's a story about which is funny. The guy's name is Gary Bowser. He's the leader of the Switch hacking group Executor. Oh my God, Executor!
Oh wow.
No, that's not familiar with the Xbox. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was having to do with the Xbox, but they call them the Switch hacking group. So I don't know if this is, and it's spelled the same way, Executer. So I don't know if it's the same company.
Team Executor. I think it might be. He's
been sentenced to 40 months in jail for piracy.
Wow.
And not piracy like he pirated stuff. He came up with technological measures to traffic and circumvention.
Yeah, so that's what they do. They go after these people that make it possible to pirate. So even though they didn't steal a damn thing, even if they don't plan to. That was the whole thing with the Wii, when they were back in the Wii, and with the Xbox. People had homebrew games that they made, and they were playing those. There were some people that didn't do it for the illegal games.
No, they did it for programming, to learn a new language. Damn it, you threw me off.
I'm sorry.
So not only does Nintendo charge you for games, you spend hundreds of dollars, and then down the line they turn around and say, "Screw you! You can't have these anymore." They then sue you and put you in jail for trying to circumvent their word or their security settings to play your games.
The games that you paid for.
Yeah. And Nintendo is known for being litigious about everything.
Yeah.
They were taking down
it is the same group.
Oh, it is? That's awesome.
Yeah. It's a hacker group known for making mod chips and jailbreaking game consoles. Team Executor was controversial for selling hacking tools for profit. Console systems targeted were the Nintendo Switch, 3DS, NES Classic Edition, Sony PlayStation, Microsoft Xbox, and the Xbox 360.
That's where you and me know them from.
Yes.
The classic Xbox.
Yes.
They were, I remember when the Fresh OS got installed over the Xbox.
Yeah.
That spinning blue logo that said Executor.
Yep.
Oh, that was the good stuff back in the day.
Back in the day. But that's interesting. So the guy got 40 months. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, because he made available some chips or whatever. It's bullshit. Because
he may not have broken any laws himself, but because he allowed for them to circumvent copyright protection.
Just showing people how to do it is enough for them.
It's the thing they did back when people released the private key for decrypting the DVDs. You remember?
No,
that was like a big thing, and like they made like T-shirts with the key on it and stuff.
Really? I didn't know that. I remember the Xbox hard drive unlocking.
Yeah,
that you used to be able to run a program on the drive.
So back in the day, there was like DRM, and people extracted the key so that they could decrypt the DRM. It was completely
so you could rip.
Yeah,
rip. Was it ripping them, or you just get the files right off of it?
It would rip them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they cracked this DRM and then posted the key online, and they went after them because they were giving people the ability to circumvent their system. But yeah, it became a big thing back in the day, and there was like T-shirts and cups and stuff. And people made it, and it was funny because they were like, "You can't share this online," and they were like, "All right, we'll make merchandise with it."
I remember when the last disc I ever ripped was back in 2003.
In
2003.
Really? Because I've been ripping discs this year.
we used to burn our DVDs over a hot fire.
I've been doing this thing where, like, when I find movies from way back. I've been ripping them just to make them digital backups.
Just having a backup, because discs get scratched and stuff. And they probably
especially
look down
in
on
my
that.
hands.
They look down on that too, right? Are they stingy about that?
Yes.
Making backup
unless
copies?
you bought the DVD with the digital copy.
A lot of new releases do come with the digital copy now.
Yeah.
So
but back when we bought them, they didn't. So we bought the physical, and that's all we're entitled to.
You make a copy of it, and they're like,
I'm gonna make
anyway,
copies.
so this Gary Bowser, he's been ordered to pay $4.5 million as restitution and a further $10 million to Nintendo, known as monetary relief.
Oh my God.
We're
so poor now because of this mean old hacker.
We can't keep the power on over at Nintendo because of you. He says they said he has caused more than $65 million in losses to video game companies.
Oh, BS.
Oh my God.
I call BS.
If I've always said this about piracy. If they had the money, they would have bought it. If they didn't have the money, why not just get it for free? People are still going to buy your games. They call eating in the profits possible profits.
Yeah.
If everyone was forced to buy the game, they count those profits as.
And I'll be honest,
that's money we lost because that's money. It's not money they lost. It's just potential money they could get.
I'll be honest, the games that I've pirated in my life, there's not very many, but the ones that I did, there's a fraction that I didn't buy. That's what I say too.
And
I bought them. I just wasn't going to spend $60 and find out it's a turd, you know?
Wait, a game you've already played, you're going to find out it's a turd?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I pirated it so I could find out if it was good or not.
I have only pirated, like, games I can't find.
Yeah.
Games from my childhood.
That's another thing
I've always
I do a lot more
pirated,
now.
like, Super Nintendo games that I've... But as you can see, based on my
See,
3DS, I buy a lot of games.
Yeah. And I always did emulators, too, until recently when I started collecting physical games and cartridges.
I'm gonna have to force myself to go back to that. I can't just do the easy impulse. Oh, I'm gonna buy this right now.
Yeah.
Because down the line, I'm gonna kick myself in the ass. Because I have so many AAA titles on my Switch. I can't even imagine how much I've spent.
So there's got to be a way to extract those files. I think you should look into that. That way you download them all and then export them. There's got to be a way.
Make some sort of backup. Yeah.
So.
I was looking into 3DS because I had a few 3DSs to play around with to mod them. Because I know you can get a mod chip for them.
Yeah.
And play 3DS games. I might look into that again. But
I can send you the name of the chip that my son has. He really likes it.
Do that because I don't have any good connects when it comes to those. Yeah. I just look up online.
I know.
I bought an Ace card, which I thought was a good brand. Thing runs like crap.
Yeah,
it's so slow loading a game.
Wow.
But yeah, so that's what you get. We take your games away, and then if you find another way to get them, we sue you into oblivion.
Yep. Which is ridiculous.
Because F you. This is the same company that was like suing YouTubers because they included video game clips or clips of their video game music.
We've been shut down because we talked about Mario. Like,
or no Mario Sky, a freaking brilliant game, which I still have a copy of.
I do too.
We'll have to play that too. Brilliant game that somebody made just as a proof of concept. He wasn't even accepting money for it. Sued into oblivion.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing, too. You mentioned, they didn't make money on it. I feel like back in the day when the argument was, did you make money off of it, was all that mattered.
Yeah.
Like if you're cracking something or hacking into something and you're making money off of it.
I can see that.
I can see that. I can see the argument. But if you're not profiting off of it and you're just having fun.
Yeah, but how are they gonna remember when they were going after like 8-year-olds and grandmothers for
MP3s?
Torrenting MP3s. I'm sorry, not torrenting.
Yeah, we didn't have torrents at the time. It was like Napster.
Bear sharing.
Kazang.
LimeWire.
I'm glad that never became a thing. Kazang.
I used I referred to Kazaa in one of my songs. That's how old I am.
Yeah. So that said, and you are old, and so am I, but we're not arguing that you keep physical copies because we're old. We're arguing because we've been burned so many times.
They will burn you. You think they won't, but then down the line, 10 years later, you're like, oh, I really wanted to go back and play this old game. That even if you get bored with the games,
I would
if
love
you're a real gamer
right now.
Still want.
I have an Xbox, an original OG Xbox. I have 3 of them actually.
Yeah.
I would love to just hop on Xbox Live and play with you or something. I mean,
we can do that.
We can't. There's no Xbox Live anymore.
No, we can do that.
We can do it with third party.
Kai. Yeah, X-Link Kai.
Third party still works, but that's the thing. Works. There shouldn't be a need. For
you also in the same breath said that, you know, it makes sense that they don't go on infinitely keeping their servers alive. At some point, they got to shut them down.
Yes, I get that.
But mostly the reason they shut them down is to push new sales on the new devices.
Yeah.
It's not we can't maintain this anymore.
And that's where they have the opportunity to give a discount or some kind of compensation to the people they're screwing over.
Yeah, they'll give you a couple months live on Xbox. Yeah. Xbox Live.
I mean, seriously, that'd be something. At least they could say, okay,
anything.
They recognize that we.
I literally got that. I got a year's worth when they shut down the original Xbox servers.
Uh-huh.
I got a 2-year Xbox Live card.
Wow.
For being part of something to do with Halo 2. They were like, because Halo 2 was huge when they shut down the servers, and I think it was like a reimbursement. Sorry, you know, we're getting rid of Xbox Live. Here's 2 years free Xbox for your patronage, which is nice. That was Xbox, not Nintendo. And I forgot what else I was going to say about that. It's just poopy.
Just keep poopy. Your physical media.
Yeah. Get a physical copy. Maybe buy the indie games that you can only get on the store.
Even before like flash memory and you know, all the external hard drives and the amazing storage capacities that we have now. I mean, back in the day, I had hard drives. Like I would just archive stuff on physical hard drives and then put them in a drawer. Mm-hmm. Like I had hundreds of them.
I used to have hot swap drives, so I could like fill one up, pull it out.
Thing where you could pull it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been doing this since day one, and I'm not going to stop until it's physically impossible to do. So,
Chunk Store keeps all, unless it's Drunk Tech Supports Podcast. Then it's a little spotty.
It's a little spotty. I have more than you thought I did at first.
Oh, there you go.
So
that's good. Don't listen to naysayers. Battlefield 2042 is a blast. Who the frick? News 9 Live.
Oh, what is that? Talking about old games and backwards compatibility. This is a good segue for me.
Yes.
So the other day, so my son is very, very big into NBA.
Beating up autistic kids?
Shh. No.
Sorry.
NBA 2K22. He plays it a lot now. Like it's become his number one game.
What is it again? NBA?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he plays on his computer because he's a computer gamer. He doesn't really get into consoles too much, but he wants to play with a controller.
Okay.
So he had a PS4 controller. He hooked it up. Well, his controller has started getting drift. And
you want to talk about the evil?
I haven't had time to open it up and clean it. Like I fixed the Switch drift by opening it up and cleaning it real good, but I haven't opened up his PlayStation 1. I haven't had time because of the move and everything.
Yeah.
So he was like, "Well, I'll just go buy a new one." So he was going to go buy a used one at GameStop, and we get there and they don't have any used PS4s. They only have brand new, but they have 2 used PS5 controllers.
Okay.
So I was like, well, just get you a PS5 controller. It's probably better anyways. Like, you know, it's brand new.
Is that the one that looks like it's wearing a bikini? It's like black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was like, yeah, I guess I could do that. And I was like, it was cheaper than the PS4 controller because that was the brand new PS4 was $60.
Yeah.
And the PS5 used was $55.
Jesus Christ. These controllers are not worth that much.
No. We're talking $5 max.
Yeah. Except unless you're buying the Xbox Elite 2 controller, which I have.
Yeah.
Which is like $150.
Jesus. So
it's worth it.
He gets this thing. We go home and the right thumbstick doesn't work at all. So we have to go all the way back to GameStop, swap it out. They gave us the other one they had in stock, and we get home and it works and everything's great. Well, he was having trouble hooking it up initially to his Bluetooth and even wired hardwire.
Is it USB-C?
Yeah. So I went and I helped him out. We got it working. But we, in the process of trying to figure out how to connect it and just learning about the remote, because we don't have a PS5, so we haven't experienced them yet. I learned the backwards compatibility from the PS5 controller goes like this. It works on the PS5. It does not work on the PS4 at all. And it does work on the PS3.
What?
Yes. I'm like,
what
is wrong with this?
That makes no sense.
None whatsoever. There's no logic behind it, especially
because
since
the PS4 is compatible with the PS3.
Yeah.
So that makes no sense.
Yeah.
Oh my god. They say this. There's like a document that
I haven't looked into anything online. But, so
that's funny.
Yeah, but anyways, we did get it connected to his PC. It's a Windows PC, and it's pretty cool.
That controller drift, I have that issue with two devices. My Oculus, it won't center; it just keeps drifting, which is really hard playing VR games. Because every time you stop, it starts looking around. I've tried switch cleaner. I haven't taken it apart.
Yeah,
I don't want to take it apart.
To fix drift, you really have to take it apart because you have to get in there.
Well, okay, so I have a joystick and throttle, Logitech for playing airplane games and stuff.
Yes,
and
I have one like that too.
My yaw drifts. That's where you Okay, what brand is that?
Mine's Cytec. It's a Chinese knockoff.
Mine's a Cytec too, I think, or Logitech. I forget.
Anyway. And Jay disappeared for a second.
What happened? I'm sorry.
That was weird.
I tapped the enter button by accident and it kicked me. So my yaw drifts. It just keeps rotating to the left. I dismantled it. I used switch cleaner. I put it back together. Still doing it. Thankfully, you can go into your game controller settings and just set a dead spot. You go in, it shows all the sensors on the control, and I look at my yaw and just going like this. So I try to make the dead spot past where it's moving.
Yeah.
And what sucks because now if you want to turn, you turn really far before it starts sensing the input. So I need to get a new controller because I bought it used on I think Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
I've been super into Elite Dangerous. I don't know if you've heard of that.
I feel like I have, but I don't.
It's a sandbox-based space simulator. It's fun. It's very zen. Yeah. I would say it's the most zen game since Minecraft.
Really?
Where you can just float around in space. You can courier. You can deliver things for people. You can go into combat if you want. But there's just
where is it? Where is it in the realm of is it procedurally generated space, or is it space engineers?
No. It's not like space. I'm sorry. I just meant Zen, where it's just peaceful to play.
Yeah.
It's not like Space Engineers. You don't build things.
Okay.
You can buy ships. You get credits for doing various jobs, and you can just explore space.
Is it like No Man's Sky? Kind of,
but not as. They did add a patch. They added an update where you can land on planets.
Yeah.
But they're pretty barren.
Okay.
But okay. So I guess it would be like No Man's Sky, but not as flashy.
Yeah.
More realistic. Realistic. It's fun.
I can dig that.
It wasn't that expensive. I've been trying to find a good space sim because I really like the idea of using controls, like throttle and stuff. I don't. We talked about it previously, probably not on our new pods, but I got a. That's something I could talk about. I bought a flight joystick, a flight yoke.
Yeah.
From Logitech.
Yeah, you put pictures of it online somewhere, but we haven't talked about it on the pod.
Yeah. So I got wicked in the flight simulator when the new flight simulator came out.
Yeah.
A year or so ago, I literally devoted an entire setup to it. I got a big screen TV. I got a big table.
That's awesome.
I like hard mounted. I bought 2 yokes and 2 throttles, so my brother could control next to me. He could be my co-pilot.
Nice.
If I had to go away, he could like control from his side. I bought like the instrument panel, so there's all the buttons you can switch for gears and lights and stuff. That you can literally build a fake cockpit out of all these.
You're definitely going to have to showcase that on the show.
I have to put it back together again because it's currently in my closet. I got big into add-on controllers. I also got a the steering wheel.
Yeah.
For playing race games, like with force.
I want to get one of those for the older systems that I have, like the old PlayStation and stuff like that. That'd be fun.
Do they have force feedback? That's what I love. Like the
not on the early video games, but some of the newer ones they do.
I have an older one. It plays game. It was made for games like around 2010 ish.
Yeah. It's crazy that 2010 was old.
I know. Oh my god, that was 20 years ago. No, I'm just kidding. 10 years ago. 12 years ago.
No, but people that were born in 1999 on Y2K year are adults that are finished college now. It's crazy.
What generation's that?
I don't know.
And are they considered millennials?
I don't know. I don't pay attention to that crap. I mean, nobody really does either. My kids call me a boomer all the time, and I'm obviously not a boomer.
My kids do that too. I'm like, what the fuck? You don't even know what boomer means. Yeah. They're like, okay, boomer. I'm like, I'm a freaking millennial. All right.
Yeah. I'm like,
I was listening to
like we're on the cusp of Gen X and millennial. Like
millennials, we're like in between the lost generation.
Yeah,
I was listening to Bush and 9 Inch Nails and like Hole. Like songs from the 90s.
I listened to some Smashing Pumpkins the other day.
Oh yeah, they were on the playlist too. I didn't listen to them; they're too depressing.
Yeah,
but we're old, but we know about games. Trust us.
Yeah. So last thing I had on my list to talk about is I came across this fucking opera.
Oh, they've dropped by 600 players since we were talking.
That's crazy. So I came across this opera, right? And it's a Mozart opera.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but check this out. Let me share my screen here real quick.
I'm starting to think that joystick above your head is like distracting because that's all I can look at when we're talking.
Really?
Yeah. Not that it's shaped like a phallic thing. It's just moving a lot, which is distracting.
This is it. Popular video game characters come to life in a reimagined Mozart opera.
It's a me. It's a Mario.
It's called #Superflute.
Oh my god. Certain mustachioed Italian plumber.
Yes. An ocarina playing elf in a green tunic and a gorilla wearing a necktie.
Oh, okay. So it's like Nintendo.
Yeah.
Based. Oh my
I'm wondering if they're going to get sued off of the planet.
Oh, yeah. They can't do that. Where's Nintendo, man?
Yeah.
Popular video game opera shut down. Thanks to Nintendo. Thanks, Nintendo.
Yeah. But anyways, I have really nothing to say about it. I just saw it and I was like,
you just wanted to mention that you want to mention that it exists.
Exactly. And maybe by the next time we do a gaming show, I will have watched it or found a clip online somewhere.
I was just saying, is it playing anywhere we could like go see it? Is it in Boston?
I don't know. It's the Pacific Opera Project. So
the Pacific Opera Project.
There's a good chance that I live near it.
Oh, it's probably in LA or something stupid.
Los Angeles, yeah.
Boom.
The Bowman Center in Los Angeles. Oh no, wait. Right. No, wait, that's different. That's Pacific Opera Project, Los Angeles, yeah.
You've said Pacific so many times in this episode.
Specific or Pacific?
Pacific, but every time you say it, I think specific, and you're mispronouncing it. But I'm like, no, he's right. It's Pacific.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I am gonna make an effort to try to find like online video of it or something, so I can.
Yeah. Do that. That'd be great to see. And come up with a better background that this is distracting.
Yeah. Well, the Pitfall one was really distracting last game.
Really? That didn't bother me.
Yeah.
You found like an 8-bit background.
Yeah, I'll find another one that's a little less crazy.
Okay. This isn't even crazy. It's literally 2 switches moving.
Yeah, I know. So, anyway. Well,
Anyway,
I have
we're on
nothing
topic.
else. Yeah, I'm out of topics.
I'm good.
So this has been DTS Games.
DTS Games, because we couldn't think of a better title that would fit our show.
That was appropriate for the public masses.
Yeah.
Because we had
that would be the actual title, but it's too long.
If you've been watching the show for a long period of time, you know what we used to call our game corner. So I'll leave it at that.
Well, they'll be able to hear the old episodes if they want.
Yes, this is true.
By the way, old episodes past 127 do not reflect us now. So you can't go back and be like, cancel Jay and Rich.
Yeah. Actually, before 125, because 125 is our Star Trek one.
Okay, yeah.
So, yeah.
No going back and canceling us.
Don't hold it against us.
Post episodes, okay? That was a different time. You're different people. Some of us may have been on substances, and that's okay.
And we're better now.
What's our outro? Do we have an outro?
I don't think we have one, but we do need to come up with one because we used to, go F yourself, and we're trying to be kinder, gentler. So,
well, if you're just going to upload all our old pods without editing them, then we can just go back to F yourself. We can say F yourself. Go F yourself.
We could.
But this is the game pod. Should we? Oh wait, but it's part of Drunk Tech Support. I'm so confused at this setup we have.
Just keep drinking and playing video games until next time.
Keep drinking, keep gaming.
Yeah, I like it.
Let's go with that.